Y'all, I'm seeing Dr. Jackie all over my For You page in regards to the comments she made about black women, and I just want to give my 2 cents.
Hey people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome back to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So this video is the part 2 video of the video I posted previously, so go check it out so you get full context of today's video. But I'm just going to give you guys like just a breakdown of what the video is, but go check it out. It's going to help you get full context. Okay, so the video is about Dr. Jackie from Married to Medicine, the reality show. And Dr. Jackie is a gynecologist, and she was asked a question about why is the mortality rate of pregnant black women really high during childbirth and being pregnant. Why is it high? And Dr. Jackie wanted to talk about, oh, black women usually cry wolf, our black women are drama queen, black women exaggerate their pain, and that has probably led to the increase of death for black women during childbirth and during pregnancy. And this really got a lot of people talking. People had a lot to say about this. Dr. Jackie apologized, which is in the first video. Just go check out that video. You hear her apology, what she actually said in that video. I'm just going to leave a sneak peek in this video, but you're going to hear the actual video, the full context of it. So go check out that video. Okay, I'll leave it down in the description box and also up in the card, so click on it and catch up with speed. Okay, so in this video we're going to hear women that has experienced Dr. Jackie first and sharing their experience, because some people are saying that, oh, maybe no, she's not. So these are black women who has experienced Dr. Jackie first and coming to share their story and their experience with Dr. Jackie as their gynecology during pregnancy. And I find this video very interesting because, yeah. Anyway, guys, let's go check out what they have to say, then we'll come back and talk.
Y'all, I'm seeing Dr. Jackie all over my For You page in regards to the comments she made about black women, and I just want to give my 2 cents. I chose Dr. Jackie because, you know, she's in the Atlanta area. She was a black female doctor, and knowing like the high mortality rate with black women during childbirth, I wanted to feel protected, so I wanted a black doctor. But honestly, this was the most traumatic birthing experience I could have possibly thought I would have went through. To make a long story short, the day I turned 38 weeks, Dr. Jackie decided to induce me because they thought my baby had a low birth weight, meaning they thought he only weighed like 5 pounds. I went to the hospital that day not knowing that I was going to be spending the next 3 days in labor in excruciating pain. And not only was it painful for me, it was painful for my child because his heart rate was going up and down, up and down, up and down, with them trying to exhaust every option they could to get him out of me. So when all their methods failed, they ended up telling me that I had to have an emergency C-section because his heart rate had got too low. And y'all, when I tell y'all I was bawling from the moment they told me to the moment they put me on a table, crying, couldn't talk, like I couldn't even open my mouth. After that was all said and done, weighed him, he ended up being 6 pounds 8 ounces, meaning he didn't have a low birth weight, and he could have stayed in me until he was ready to come out. Mind you, in those 3 days, I didn't see Dr. Jackie one time. Not one time did I see her. And I had my baby during COVID, so it was only one person allowed in the delivery room, me and my mom, and I was scared out of my mind, okay? Scared. Wow. And then my baby, like now, he has like developmental delays, and I don't know if I should associate that with them inducing me, because personally, I feel like if they let him cook a little bit longer, he would have been fine. But who am I to say that's correlated? But that's just my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I will not be going back to her.
I have been quiet about this for a very long time, but this has kind of felt like the straw that broke the camel's back. So in 2016, when I moved to Atlanta and I was pregnant already, expecting my son, when I was looking around and asking friends at the time for OBGYNs, everybody recommended Dr. Jackie. So, of course, I didn't know who she was, but I'm like, well, she got to be good if all y'all are going to her and there is no connection between these ladies that recommended her, so let me go to her too. Long story short, my son ended up being a stillbirth 36 weeks in my pregnancy, 3 days after I had had my appointment with Dr. Jackie. The day that I had my appointment with Dr. Jackie, my son was measuring to be a little bit smaller, and she shared some concerns about that. So I went from her office to the maternal fetal specialist at Northside because that's where I was intending to deliver. Baby, long story short, they did not decide to induce me or do anything any sooner like I thought that they were going to, because she made it seem like I was about to go into labor like soon or be hospitalized. 3 days later, I'm having these pains. I'm thinking they're Braxton Hicks. I didn't know what was going on, so I called Dr. Jackie's office to let them know. I'm told drink some orange juice, keep doing this and that. So that's what I did, and it still didn't feel well. A couple hours later, fast forward a few hours later, I'm at the hospital. I'm a couple days shy, 37 weeks pregnant, and I'm told that there is no heartbeat, and I am broken. I had to go into an emergency C-section and be put to sleep. I was internally bleeding because my baby was blocking all the blood, and my son ended up passing away when I was 36 weeks in my pregnancy, and I almost passed away too. So to hear a woman, I've been quiet about this story for a very long time. And when my mom touched down into Atlanta, my mom had a lot to say to Dr. Jackie, a whole lot to say to her. But to hear a woman like that, of her caliber, of her demeanor, make such a poor comment that black women cry wolf, like, that is unacceptable. It's one thing to be somebody on the outside looking in, but it's another thing to have experienced her. That was actually the first black doctor I've ever had. And to be honest with you, I think that's been the last. Not intentionally, but that's just how it's gone. And now I'm a stage 2 breast cancer survivor. So I'm checking off baby loss mom. I'm checking off breast cancer. And I look back and I'm just like, wow. Like, how could you say something so negative like that, so hurtful like that, especially to us whose children didn't even make it here under your care. And I'm not blaming this on her per se, but I'm just like, there was so much opportunity in that process. And she said to my mom, had I made the right call, had I trusted my first judgment, because her first judgment was to just go ahead and induce me the moment she felt like he was measuring to be a little bit smaller. That was her first judgment. And because she did not decide to do that, he literally passed away. 3 days later, I had a placenta abruption out of nowhere. And I left that office being told, oh, you're you're in the less than 1% percentile of stillbirths. You'll be fine. Nothing's wrong. We're not even going to worry about it. He may be a little bit smaller, but he's okay. He seems healthy. I got an autopsy done on my son. And he was healthy. He was a perfectly healthy baby boy.
Whoa.
Okay. So for those who have no idea who I am, I'm saying it for the purpose of this video. My name is Lenisha. Those who know me know me. When it comes to what we're about to talk about, a lot of people don't know me. I wasn't going to do this video mostly for the same reason partially for the same reason why I deleted my first video. In 2019, I gave birth to my daughter in August, and prior to going on my IVF journey with my husband and I was at Dr. Jackie's practice. At that time it was 3. I can't remember the third person or the third OB's name, but Dr. Passiani, Dr. Jackie. I had been going to Dr. Passiani for like 2 years prior to even meeting my husband and going through our IVF journey. And when you become a mother, and especially since we did a lot to get through our IVF journey, I had made a lot of sacrifices on my body. Dr. Passiani was right there through it all with me, right? Not really sure of her nationality, but I know she wasn't a woman. And I remember doing research in my third trimester, trying to figure out, or getting close to my third trimester, trying to figure out what I wanted my options to be, or what I wanted to look at what the options were for me giving birth. And in that research, I found out that women of color are more impacted when it comes to having having childbirth and in the medical system, and how we are acknowledged, how our pain is handled. And I knew none of that, right? I'm not a person that goes to the hospital. I've never been treated that way, but I've always went to like specialty doctors or, like little specialists or whatever. So, and this was the first time me giving birth. I was in my mid to late 30s. So this was a whole new experience for me, right? So I was already freaking out enough. And then we went through IVF and we went through this whole process. So anyway, I remember my aunt, my mother, and my husband, we were all talking about what I had found in my research about when women of color, I think it was like a 3%, it was an additional like 3% increase of women of color who suffer mortality in childbirth, right, than any other race, nationality. And I remember saying I didn't want to leave the practice that I was at, but I knew Dr. Jackie was there and she had a seat at the table. That was my exact words. So I hadn't talked to Dr. Passiani. I had the conversation with my family first. And then I don't know who I contacted at her practice, but I asked to speak to Dr. Jackie and if we could, meet with her. We met with her. We were all in one room, and I told her that based on like the research, you have a seat at the table. I don't want to go through what a lot of women of color are going through. I don't want to be a statistic. I'm already freaking out. I'm scared. And I would like to switch to you because I feel like you as a woman of color would have my best interest in mind in going through, something that was foreign to me, which is childbirth, right? She was very much like, okay, we'll talk to Dr. Passiani. We agreed. It was me, her, and my family. And I came to her with all of these things that were on my heart of I couldn't believe that women of color were really being treated like this at a time where childbirth is near as close to death as you could possibly get while living. Like, I don't understand how someone's pain level could be in question. I don't understand the statistics and why, basically why I was reading what I was reading. Right? I'm not oblivious to the things that are happening in the current environment that we're in. But childbirth? That's insane, right? Like childbirth. So anyway, moving on. I finished all of my follow-up visits with Dr. Jackie. We had a plan to induce me. And the date, my daughter's arrival date was supposed to be August 21st. And we were kind of fighting back and forth with Northside, which is supposed to be a hospital that's great for women, for their child and delivery department. And yeah, I mean, it was nice, don't get me wrong. The accommodations were nice, but I remember going in the day that they were inducing us. It was me and my husband. Dr. Jackie and another lady of color walked in with her. And she had been trying to get me in for like a day and a half. And I remember seeing her saying that, okay, she did some paperwork. She said she would be back. My impression, not even my impression, but the game plan was supposed to be to give me Cervidil. So I think when I came in, I was like 3 centimeters to get me to dilate more, right? Okay, I'm with the game plan. I wanted a natural birth. I didn't want an epidural. I didn't want a C-section because those are all the things that obviously I was afraid of, right? So I never saw Dr. Jackie again after she left. She literally came in for maybe 5-10 minutes to discuss what we were going to do, and I didn't see her again. And a few hours later, this Caucasian lady walked in and she introduced herself, and I said, okay, where is my doctor? Where's Dr. Jackie at? Oh, well, we're her rotating practice. I absolutely knew nothing. I was so green because I didn't even know that was a question to ask, right? I don't know. In my head, I just felt like, you're going to be here regardless, right? It doesn't matter if I give birth. Whenever I give birth, you're going to be here. And I was oblivious to, like, I know that their lives cannot, you know, roll around patients because they would never get a break and be with their families. I understand that, but I was never told that there was a rotating practice, because then I would have wanted the opportunity to meet them, get to know them, maybe select someone of color in their rotating practice or whatever. I was just giving somebody from the practice, right? So then she comes in and she's like, you know, well, we're gonna break your water. And I'm like, well, that's not what we discussed. I thought we were gonna allow me to dilate more. And I feel like if you break my water, then it's not really giving my baby a fighting chance. And she gave me this whole hoopla, whatever. And I said, well, I think you should contact Dr. Jackie. Oh, she's not available. So here I'm in a situation where I don't know this lady. She's the only lifeline I have to Dr. Jackie. And I now do not even have that lifeline anymore because she's unavailable. So, and this lady is completely changing everything that Dr. Jackie and I, what my family had talked about, right? What? So then I was like, okay, well, if that's what we have to do. She then broke my water. They gave me the epidural, which they didn't really have to fight me on it. My contractions weren't bad, so they gave me the epidural. Then I started feeling a lot more pain. I couldn't even tell the difference between my contractions or the epidural. So then they tried to give me a second epidural. That gave me more pain. So then my husband noticed that my heart rate was going up and my temperature was going up. And they were like, we have to make a decision. I was only at 4 centimeters by that time. We have to make a decision. I can't even remember how long I labored. It wasn't even a full day. And they were like, we have to make a decision. You know, your body is in stress. So now I felt like a lot of the stress was coming from what they did to me. I couldn't even tell you. I may have felt maybe 2 contractions, and everything else was just a horrible pain that I felt in my abdomen area, in my back area, which did not feel like contractions. Based on what I thought contractions were and what people were saying contractions should feel like, that's not what it felt. It felt like. It didn't feel like cramping. It didn't feel like burning. It just was a abnormal amount of pain. And since I hadn't dilated any further, I wasn't really going, you know, through the heavier parts of labor. Okay. So anyway, when my husband saw that, I asked him to clear the room, and I looked at my family and I started crying. And I was just like, everything I asked, everything that I said I didn't want to happen to me is happening. Nobody's listening to my pain. They're just throwing the epidural at me, and the epidural is not even the problem because that's attached to me laboring, and that I wasn't having laboring pains. I don't even know what kind of pain I was having. I just know I was in extreme pain. And my family was just like, well, Nisha, you know, we can't lose you. So you're going to have to make a decision. And that was the hardest decision that I think I've ever made in my life, because I just didn't want that to be the dynamics of me giving birth. We had just went through IVF. I had multiple surgeries and procedures just to even get to the IVF process to be able to have my daughter. And then here we are. I'm going from one extreme to another, then another one where I felt like I had someone to help protect me from whatever it was that was going to happen. So now moving on, I make the decision with my family, and we're like, if you got to do what you got to do. I said to the anesthesiologist, I said, but I still feel all of the pain in my abdomen. I still feel all of this weird pain, and I don't know what this pain is. He literally ignored me. They ignored everything that I said. And was just like, well, we're gonna go ahead and do the C-section, and once we get in there, we'll medicate you more. And they can only do so much, right? Because then it start impacting my baby. So they could really only give me a certain amount of medication or certain types of medication. And I will never forget. Soon, my husband's behind me, and I felt that initial cut. And the last thing I remember is letting out this scream and saying, I feel it. And then I heard them tell my husband, sir, you have to leave. And then I woke up in recovery. I didn't even wake up in recovery with my baby. My baby was in recovery because they had to slow her breathing down from what they gave me. That is something. My daughter is 4 now. That is an experience that was supposed to be beautiful between me and my family. As a woman of an older age, it was already hard for me to conceive. And then that is an experience that I will absolutely never forget. The other part that I will never forget is how Dr. Jackie treated us. We stayed in the hospital for 4 days because we had to recover from what happened. She never even came. She never came to see us. She never came to talk to us. And I'm sure she knew about what happened. And I posted a video after my daughter because I was like, okay, you know what? Let me see if this is a way that I can kind of get this off my chest, because I was dealing with it and I was still crying a lot. And I had a lot of issues toward it. I had talked to some people at her practice and said that I was no longer coming to her practice and the reason why. So I'm sure it got back to her. She never called. She never reached out. Now don't get me wrong. Like, Dr. Jackie is a very warm-spirited person. But when it comes to how she treated us, I don't know how she treats other people. I know how she treated us, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't understand how you can now be the voice advocating for women of color when it comes to childbirth. The way that you treated us like we were just a number. The way that you did me, my family, and my child, you didn't even come to see us after you knew about what happened. And then, even if I give you grace to say, maybe you didn't know, maybe the rotating practice didn't tell you, I told your staff the reason why we were no longer coming back to your practice. And you still never reached out. You never called, you never reached out, you never sent anything to say, how are you doing? I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you. Being in the hospital for 4 days when you, and I was your patient, and you never even came to check on me, to even see my daughter. I will never respect you. I will never respect you, and I'm doing this because I saw your apology video. And for those women who feel like I feel, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. I cannot be the only one that she has done this to, that has made a woman of color. And even if you're not a woman of color, the topic is around women of color. But even if I wasn't if I wasn't the only woman that this was done to, I don't know how your conscience has let you handle this. I don't understand as how you can be having these conversations to advocate for us. You weren't even advocating for your own patients. Mm-hmm. You weren't even advocating for me. I think your apology is garbage, even though I forgave you 4 years ago. That's why I took my first video down. And you guys will see that first video because I'm going to re-upload it. And that was right after my daughter was born, because I had to deal with the trauma of that. I don't respect you. I don't feel like morally and ethically you even have that compass. I don't think you have any morals or ethics. And I think the only reason that you're crying now is because the community wants to cancel you because of that video. And that's probably exactly how you feel. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't sit in that category, right? Me and my husband have insurance. We both have careers. This is something that, you know, but at that time, she was delivering a lot of celebrity kids. And the first thing that my mother said and I'm her only daughter, This is her first grandchild from me. And the first thing my mother told me was, don't cry about her. You're just not a celebrity. I remember like how I felt, as I already felt like I didn't have a voice or anyone to advocate for me in that hospital. But then even for my OB to take it further and make me feel like I didn't even matter. Me and my baby didn't even matter. I'm not saying you deserve to be canceled, but what I am saying is I hope that you reflect on a lot of the pain that you've caused on people, because that is a pain that I will never be able to not be traumatized by. While you get to go off and you get to deliver more babies and have your practice, that left scars on me and my family, and an experience that was supposed to be a good time after going through the struggle of conceiving a child, and then now going through a struggle of now me trying to deal with postpartum at the same time dealing with what happened to me and what happened to me and how you left me in that situation. So anyway, that is my story, and I don't feel like you're sorry. I feel like you're sorry that that video came out at a time where you were able to make a leap in your career and in your world of reality TV because of the vice president. But you don't deserve to advocate for us. You don't deserve to be that woman and that spokesperson. You don't deserve that role. But I do wish you well. That's my story, y'all.
That was very, very emotional for me to watch, because I just had a stillbirth last year, and hearing her talk about a stillbirth, like, ooh, it was giving me flashes. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this video down in the comment section, but please keep it respectful. Here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way, so keep it respectful, okay? So I'm really happy that a lot of women are talking, especially sharing their experience with her. And I feel like I really love the internet, because I feel like with the internet we are having those hard conversation that we were not allowed to have, or we didn't have the opportunity to have, because we're just smaller groups in our community, in our neighborhood, in our friend group. But now the internet has made it really like a bigger community, like the community I have with you guys. We have amazing conversation, we hear each other's story, we hear each other's talk, and that is key. So for me, I'm happy these women are speaking up, because some people are having a conversation that, oh, do we have to cancel a black woman now? She's a black doctor. Do we have to cancel that? What happened to black women supporting black women? What happened to women supporting women? But the thing is that if people are not whole, accountable, and not having those important conversations, things will just keep happening and will not involve and will not get better. I'm not saying that, oh, she should be cancelled, but she should be held responsible, because making that bold statement about black women, you can imagine how she has neglected a whole lot of black women and thinking that they were crying wolf, and when those black women were really in serious pain, you could imagine how she could have made a decision like this. But because it was a black woman, she thinks that, oh, things different, and think that black women cry, like that could have affected a whole lot of decision making that could have gone wrong. And for me, this is really like, it's scary, because a whole lot of decision that could even involve black women losing their life could occur, because in her mind she believes that the pain this black woman is talking about, maybe this is one of them. This is one of the drama queen that just want to cry wolf. Maybe I should not pay attention to her. Maybe I shouldn't take it. Like, when will she take a black woman serious? And the fact that she is a black woman. And this whole thing actually started off from an interview. I think I saw the video of her and the vice president of the United States talking, and they were talking about the mortality rate of during childbirth for black women and all that. And this is why, that was what brought the original clip she did 2020 out. And to think that, oh, she wants to start advocating for black women and the loss of black women, when she has this strong opinion about black women, for me, it's just like, she should not even be speaking on the behalf of black women in terms of childbirth and all that. She should not be speaking because she doesn't care. She doesn't consider black women that they feel pain. She doesn't take black women serious during pregnancy because, one, like she said in the original video, she said black women don't come to hospital, they come with dying minute. Two, she said, oh, when they come to the hospital, like they see the OBGYN 20 times even before due date and all that, and they cry wolf. Like, nah, I really feel like she should be held responsible and she should not be given that platform that she wants to have to speak on the behalf of black women and childbirth. They should look for another black female gynecologist that is doing a job, that doesn't think that black women cry wolf, that love and empathize with black women. That's the person that should be the face of that. And I feel like she actually apologized because people were coming for her. I feel that's why. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this video and this conversation down in the comment section. And if you have your own story of how our black gynecologists didn't listen to you when you were going through pain, please go down in the comment section and share your thought, because we need to continue having this type of conversation to bring this type of things to light. Anyway, guys, with that all said, guys, please don't forget to share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversations. So go on and share this video and share your thought, okay? And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting your girl, and that will make it get to more people, okay? So we want this conversation to go out there more. So go ahead and do that stuff and share, comment, leave your comment, share the video, give it a thumbs up, and even subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. With that all said, guys, I will see you guys in my next video.